Hi, this is my review of The Colors of the Sky, bonus material for Golden Sky Stories. Golden Sky Stories is an RPG that is very unique in the sense that it's about creating heart-touching stories or heartwarming stories in which the characters are not fighting monsters or trying to solve some mystery that has to do with the entire universe or something. This is about short scenarios or situations that people experience in their everyday lives, and it's about sharing feelings and thoughts. It feels like a Hayao Miyazaki film or some slice of life anime or animations where characters are trying to communicate to the audience some kind of deeper emotional meaning. And well, if you want to see the review I made for the Golden Sky Stories, click on the link below in the description. And well, let's get started. Let's talk about the qualities of the PDF. The PDF is overall pretty good. It has a virtual table of contents. It's actually quite short. It's just 54 pages long. And the illustrations are great. Most of the illustrations are amazing as always. They have that, I don't know, that high quality manga or anime feel to them. However, I think there is a bit of an inconsistency in the different art styles contained therein, because some of these materials were not generated by or created by the original design team. These were designed by the people who brought the game here to America. And so you're going to see some inconsistencies, because on one hand you have this detailed, very deep and in a different level of what would you say, of art style, and then you have this like Western trying to imitate manga style, and it's not good most of the time. There are some pieces that are okay, trying to imitate that manga style. Some others seem too minimalistic. They are still okay, but they really, I don't know, break the tone or the feel of the illustrations. And there's one particular piece that I think it's a bit nightmarish. Maybe that's just my thing, but you see the face of this character and it looks like she's saying like, "Hey little girl, what are you doing over here?" And you see the other illustration of the other character, and it looks kind of like, I don't know, like a guy dressed as a girl. So maybe it's because of the placement of the eyes or the mouth, I don't know, but there's something kind of like, I don't know, unsettling about that particular piece. Well, moving on. The book introduces some pretty neat things, because it introduces new types of characters, new henge. As some of you that are familiar with the Golden Sky Stories, henge are sort of like mythical, magical creatures, sort of like were creatures or lycanthropes, so to speak. They're not exactly that. They're mostly like, well, they're like magical animals that can assume different shape, most of the time humanoid shape, by spending and using different powers. And so in this book you get the wolf, the mouse, the witch, and the pony, and the horse and the fish. Well, starting with the mouse, because each one of these characters has a specific feel to them related to Japanese folklore, how Japanese consider these animals to express themselves in a sort of a fictional cultural setting. So the mouse is expected to be a bit like sneaky and curious and all, like high strung, and always seeing how he can get to the cheese, or maybe just really curious. So the mouse is all about playing this character that is always trying to get in holes and finding things, interesting things, and fun stuff to do. And the powers are related to that as well. The mouse will be able to travel through different small holes, and because it's a mouse, and the creature is going to have a large family, so the mouse will probably find different allies in all sorts of places. and it also has additional powers related to finding hidden things, or of eating and trying to get in places and getting stuff that other people may not be able to reach. And the mouse also has different weaknesses related to the stereotype. It's tiny, so it's probably a bit weak. It's also a glutton, and he's a bit of a coward. And then we move on to the wolf, and the wolf, as you would expect, is a very strong character. He's kind of like the protector of the group. This is not a combat-oriented game, but the wolf is for those situations where all the characters feel a bit afraid or nervous, and the wolf is kind of like the mountain standing there to lead the pack to safety. Sorry, and then and the wolf's powers are also related to that. He's kind of like, he has powers such as guardian and wolf howl, and all sorts of powers related to protecting the other characters and intimidating threats. Maybe they run into some threat, and because this is not a fighting game, the wolf through just some subtle intimidation is going to protect the group, or maybe at least bring some sense of security for the other characters. Because in Golden Sky Stories, when something seems, I don't know, creepy or dangerous, it's not as dangerous or as creepy as it looks like. It's kind of like those old kid cartoons where the characters are walking around and, oh my god, it's a ghost, but it was actually just a shadow or something they imagined. But the wolf, because it's such a powerful presence in the group, is going to keep them safe from unnecessary scares and I don't know, scary situations. And there are additional powers for the wolf, such as the growl or the perseverance. He or she may even turn into a giant wolf to carry the characters across different places, or maybe to intimidate someone. But the wolf's weaknesses are also related to the wolf's violence, and maybe he's a bit of a klutz, and he's also like a lone wolf, very lonely, maybe not exactly antisocial, but just somebody who appreciates too much the individual aspect of adventuring away from the party or the group. And then you have the pony. Oh, it was a pony. I thought it was a horse, but well. And the pony feels kind of like the glue that holds the group together. It feels a lot like a support character. To put it in terms of other games, the pony, at least to me, feels kind of like the bard, because it has so many interesting powers related to supporting and making the other characters shine even brighter. So, for example, the pony has powers such as work together, friendship, pony express, all powers related to coordinating with the other characters and augmenting their abilities and actions, and maybe transporting them if a character is able to ride the pony. The additional powers of the pony are also related to these things. For example, Pegasus wings. You grow a pair of wings, and maybe you can fly and survey the field. Maybe if you're finding a missing object or a person, that's going to be pretty useful. You also have racehorse as a power, so you're going to be able to get to other places when other characters cannot reach those places in time. And you also get different weaknesses. For example, maybe you're always chewing different things and ruining objects because you chew things when you get nervous, or maybe you're skittish and you eat like a horse, or you're not exactly very good at eating etiquette or dinner etiquette. And then we have the fish. The fish is a pretty hard character to use, in my opinion, because the character is a fish. He needs to be carried around in a fish bowl, or maybe the characters have to travel near a lake or a river. So because in this game you can't always be transformed into a human. Sometimes you have to remain in your animal form or shape because you're running out of different resources. And the fish is a very challenging character to roleplay, in my opinion. And so the powers related to the fish are like, for example, curiosity and relaxing and quiet watcher. Most of them have to do with making other characters see the world as you see it. And of course, the fish is going to be very useful when having underwater adventures or finding things that went downstream, stuff like that. Let me see. You also, you're probably, this, I think this is a great advantage of the fish. You are one of the characters that strengthens relationships with other NPCs faster than other types of characters, and that's very useful because in Golden Sky Stories, the strength of your connections of your emotional and social connections with other NPCs give you further points to spend in your different powers. Additional fish powers are, for example, underwater world, the one I was telling you about, that you could see reality from a different angle and get all excited about this new world, this new vision that the fish is presenting to you. You may also grant wishes. You may also sing beautiful songs, just like a mermaid, because in this game your character may enter a sort of like a hybrid form, half human, half animal. And a beautiful song just fits the theme perfectly. And your weaknesses, well, what I was telling you about the fish bowl, and you need to carry you around. And you are also tasty. Maybe you're a fish, maybe you're tuna or a salmon, and people just will always want to eat you when they see you. And then there's the witch. The witch is a pretty cool character. It's the most unique in my opinion, because the other characters, the Henge, are animals that turn into humans, but the witch is basically a human with magical powers, like a magical human. So there are many advantages to playing this character and serving as a sort of like a bridge or communication between the humans and the Henge. And your powers are all witch archetypical powers. So for example, you have your broom, your flying broom, and you can use your crystal ball to see into the future. All of the things you know about witch folklore is right here. And you also have additional powers, such as powers that allow you to change the seasons, or maybe create magical items. And you also have weaknesses. Maybe you just look really strange, even though you're a human. People always get all nervous or have this feeling of weirdness or strangeness when they are interacting with you. And you also look so mysterious and distant, so people cannot really connect to you that easily. So there may be some difficulty when forming relationships, but either way, the witch is a pretty cool character in my opinion. You also get a couple of scenarios. I think, I don't know the full story, but I think these scenarios didn't come with the original bonus materials. These scenarios were added when the game came here to America, and were designed by the translators. And well, the two of them are okay, but the first one seems a bit too cliched. It's about a boy, a Western boy trying to fit into Japanese society, and he has to deal with all the cultural differences and the normal difficulties that comes with moving to a new place in town, a Japanese town. And it just, I don't know, it seems too cliche in my opinion. Now the second scenario, I like it a bit more because it even though it's not exactly original, it just feels too classical. It's a heart-touching tale of having to separate from the beings or the creatures you love the most. In this case, it's a dog, and I don't know, it feels a lot more emotional or more touching than the first one. Because the first one could be touching and emotional as well in a fun way, but the second one just really hits the spot. And you also get a few other things. Well, this is there's a chapter about Henge sweets, and this is just about how you can integrate candy into your campaign or your adventures and stories. About how different types of characters have different specific favorite candies that will motivate them to do different things, but it feels, I don't know, like too superficial or lukewarm, like they didn't develop enough rules or background related to this use of candies or sweets in your game. It just feels like a loose idea that they put into the book at the last moment. And then you also get a couple of short stories that are entertaining enough to serve as inspiration for your games. And well, you also get a new character sheet, so you can integrate the witch and the other types of hangei into your games without having to do major modifications to the other sheet. And so what I think about this game, about this supplement, I think the bonus materials are pretty good and they are certainly worth it. Even though some of them felt a bit lackluster, as I was telling you about, I think it's definitely worth it. Just for the witch, the wolf, they just feel pretty original and very fun to play. And even the new ones, the pony and the fish, they feel like they really add something. The only negative thing about this bonus material is what I was telling you about there's 1 week scenario, in my opinion, but that's just really a personal view of mine. What I really think is a bit weak is what I was telling you about the candy and the way you could use sweets in your stories. It could have been developed a bit more. But overall, if you like the Golden Sky stories, I highly recommend you get these bonus materials. And that's about it. It's a good material. It's a good way to expand your Golden Sky stories. Well, if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. I hope you liked the video. See you later.